honestly, sometimes when a video has so many dislikes, I'm a little more interested to find out, like, what's with all the dislikes? You know, I know that drives more dislikes, but sometimes that drives more views. And if you're a creator who doesn't give a shit about the dislikes, that can be very beneficial for you. What is happening there, Reject Nation? Hey, if you end up liking this video, can you go ahead and hit the dislike button? If you end up disliking this video, go ahead and hit the dislike button. If you're one of those supporters who ends up hitting the like button right away, which we always appreciate, not today. Go ahead and hit the dislike button. Work together here to make this the most disliked video on the channel, because soon you won't even be able to see those numbers, and then it'll look like there's no likes on this video in a couple weeks.
Not a single one.
But we'll be able to see it on our end. Guys, YouTube has removed the dislike counter, sort of. Essentially, they're hiding it from you guys. The title's gonna say YouTube has removed the dislike counter, because that's what everyone else is saying. Algorithm. You know how it goes? You might be mad, being like, why didn't you just say hides it then, if that's what they're really doing? Well, if it bothers you, go ahead and hit the dislike button.
Go ahead and just hit the dislike on all of you.
We can say whatever we want today.
Yep, you'll never know.
There's a lot of benefits to this, actually. I love this idea.
Immune from your opinions now.
All right, guys, so we're gonna keep this fairly brief. We'll go over quickly what YouTube said on their decision why to do it. Personally, I think that there's some stupidity to what was said. I don't fully believe the reasoning for why they're saying they're doing this, and I'm gonna go into that a little bit, and we'll also talk about if it really is as much of a big deal, something to throw your arms up in the air about. We'll talk about it. Let's just go through what Frank YouTube had to say. We strive to be a place where creators of all sizes and backgrounds can find and share their voice. Oh, they're talking about fat and black people. If that comment bothered you, hit the dislike button. Jokes today.
First of many.
To ensure that YouTube promotes respectful interactions between viewers and creators, we introduced several features and policies to improve their experience. And earlier this year, we experimented with the dislike button to see whether or not changes could help better protect our creators, RSM, the Celestials, from harassment and reduce dislike attacks, where people work to drive up the number of dislikes on a creator's videos. Okay, I get what they're getting at here, but I honestly believe this is rare. I don't think this is a majority of people. Like whenever we upload, there's usually someone or a few who hit the dislike button. That's what happens, man. The higher the mountain you climb, the more arrows are on your back.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about?
Thumb down, sticking out of your back.
I think what they're referring to is like situations such as like when Brie Larson launched a YouTube channel, and then everyone who hates the words virtue signaling, woke culture, and all that
video,
just go, go to Brie Larson's channel,
light the fires. We have a video to vote down.
And then once in a while, someone might do a video that you might not like what they did, and then you kind of harass them for a while. And then yes, I do believe that there are those videos that come out where they start seeing there's dislikes. They're like, what's with all the dislikes? And then you kind of watch the video to go, what's their dislike? Yeah, dislike. Or you just kind of have fun with hitting the dislike button and have it go there. Just like this video today, hit the dislike button. Yes, I see that. I don't fully believe this is the reason though. Going on, as part of this experiment, viewers can still see and use the dislike button. So you guys can still use it. You just don't know how many people agree with you. You just have to go to those pleasant comment boxes. But because the count was not visible to them, we found that they were less likely to target a video's dislike button to drive up the count. This is the fascinating part to me, because I don't think you need to do a test to see if that will be the case. Like if you can't see the count, it's like automatically my mind would go, that's an easy assumption to make, right? I feel like if we hit a button but that doesn't show anything.
If you don't know how many people agree with you, you don't know if there's strength in your numbers at all. So, you know, you might think twice.
It would be the same thing with the like button. People sometimes do that. They make their likes and dislikes private. And I'm never inclined to hit the like or dislike button at that point, because I'm like, what's the point? Can't see it. Like, even on my end, I don't do it. In short, our experiment data showed a reduction in dislike attacking behavior. Yes, that makes sense. We also heard directly from smaller creators and those just getting started that they are unfairly targeted by this behavior. And our experiment confirmed that this does occur at a higher proportion on smaller channels. Yes, maybe, all right? We're not running tests. At the same time, though, I'm like, this is YouTube. A big part of what makes YouTube awesome it is the voting aspect to it. Like, yes, the like and dislike, and being able to see. I feel like it's a little bit unfair that you can see the likes, but you can't see the dislikes on it. And I think the dislikes can be beneficial for certain videos. We did a Lightyear trailer reaction. We had such a great time. We're huge Toy Story fans. We're really looking forward to that movie. And then we saw these dislikes come in. 2.5% dislikes. Shame. Failure of a video. And we were like, what's going on here? Why are we getting all these dislikes? And going through the comments, we realized that there's a bunch of just, what's the word for it? A bunch of like, dumbasses?
Yeah, that's one word for it.
Stupid idiots who can't pick up on sarcasm. I think that's the legal definition for it, just dumbasses.
Go look in the dictionary and then downvote it.
What I wasn't aware of is that some people, won't hear when you say that you've actually seen Toy Story, and also some people don't realize like what comedy is anymore, or sarcasm is even for that matter.
Yeah.
I was not made privy to the fact that we live in a world where the lines of comedy and a sincere thought are blurred.
Oh no, we live in a society. What are we gonna do?
No. If you clicked off then, let me clarify. Yeah, you're a dumbass. No, it's that sometimes our sarcasm is extremely dry to the point that people can't tell we're being sarcastic. I hear it all the time in real life. But point being is that was an indicator to us. It's like every once in a while we'll make a joke. I know it's gonna upset people and I'm like, screw it, let them get upset. Or we might cover a topic that we know is gonna get a bunch of dislikes just from talking about it, that we're like, just don't be that person, perturbed by that. But then every once in a while, you can learn something from it. And also, like, I'm talking from a creator's end on just what we do ourselves. It's helped up our communication game when I'm like, damn, this is getting dislikes because we miscommunicated something. So it's actually helped improve our game. So it's good that we can still see it. But in terms of an audience member, like for trailer reaction, honestly, sometimes when a video has so many dislikes, I'm a little more interested to find out, like, what's with all the dislikes? I know that drives more dislikes, but sometimes that drives more views. And if you're a creator who doesn't give a shit about the dislikes, that can be very beneficial for you. Some people just don't give a shit about that because it's engagement and you still get the ad revenue off of it or whatever. We're not those kind of people. It's fine what I said at the beginning of the video. Go ahead, hit the dislike button on this one. Generally, I'm like, what do we do wrong?
If it's 97% or lower, it's like, people hate this video. What's wrong?
And another reason why I don't agree with this whole sentiment that they're talking about of like protecting the creators is because the creators can still see the dislikes. Everyone I've ever talked to who does YouTube has heard me at one point say, what's all the dislikes on this video? John has heard me say it a bunch, and he's like, well, it's only like 2%.
It's usually 0.02%.
Yeah.
It's often the figure. 2,000 people liked this and 10 people didn't. I mean,
sometimes it's like 4,000 liked it and 100 didn't like it. What did we do wrong? Like my mind can sometimes go there. And
it's bound to happen,
Can it protect them from the rare case where people will dislike bomb just because other people are disliking? Sure, but generally I think a lot of people who do YouTube are very much bothered by getting dislikes. I've talked with a lot of YouTubers and a lot of times they have the same thought process I do, where you can get a bunch of views and a bunch of likes, but for some reason you see the count of like 200 dislikes on a video that has 300,000 views and you're like, what did I do wrong? Who are these 200 people that are mad at me? Your emotion gets in the way of the logic and the actual math, and it takes some working through for a certain amount of people to not be fazed by that. Point being is that I don't really think they're doing this to protect people. I think they're doing this to protect like major corporations and shit.
That's where my big question comes in, is they like to throw a lot out there as we're doing this to protect the community and the smaller creators, and really I want to know what the corporate interests in this are, because there are a lot of big trailers and big corporate videos I feel especially are prone to being downvote bombed, and I mean they're gonna be fine, they're corporations, but I wonder how much of that business that they bring in is motivating this.
I think that's the main thing that's motivating this. As we've seen over the years, YouTube has often tended a lot more to like, it's upset like a lot of the OG YouTubers, where they have been the ones who have really talked expressively about how so much of YouTube has gone so much more corporate, and it keeps kind of going in that direction. And when you hear about, like, you know, studios or gaming, movie studios, gaming studios, just company products, corporate or political wise too, I think dislikes can actually help you in certain areas on that with misinformation, sometimes a lot of how-to tutorial videos especially. I can, if it got a lot of dislikes, I'm immediately like, I'm not watching this video on how to help improve my Final Cut edit. Like, shit like that, you know? And you're like, it probably didn't work for a lot of people and that's why they're disliking it, you know?
Yeah.
So it can help in that regard. But I do think it's probably more to do with the fact that, you know, there's companies out there, corporations, and they see the dislikes and that sways away their customers for the sales and all that.
Publicity.
It's like when Last of Us 2, you know, people were really looking forward to that. Then they heard some leaks and it's just dislike bombed with it before people even gave it a chance. Like, that's one example of a gaming studio.
Countless movie trailers.
Countless movie trailers.
Countless movie trailers
Yes.
that don't properly convey their source material or whatever. You're gonna get bombed significantly.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, I don't think this is fair. I think this is kind of manipulative.
Especially if you're gonna leave the like counter up too.
Might as well remove both and only read the toxic comments, which is usually the minority of people. That's where you can easily get psyched out. You could have thousands of likes and a few hundred dislikes, and those few hundred people are probably commenting a negative comment, or at least half of them are. So then it takes up a lot of the comments, and then it makes you think that everyone hates your video.
Which do you want? Do you want the binary with no context to stress over, or do you want people's very specific thoughts to stress over?
Yeah. But this won't really protect me in the sense of, like, if I wake up and they're like, okay, the public can't see that I have a, you know, 30% dislikes on this video, but I can see it, then I'm still gonna have the same feeling I've always had. Which is, to hell with you guys. I've seen Toy Story.
I've seen all the Toy Stories.
That's where my mind's been going for years. I've seen Toy Story. Yeah, guys, what do you think about this? Does it really matter to you? Is it a big deal? Everyone seems to be making it a big deal. Comment below a positive thought.
And hit the dislike button.